What year were you born in?
1901.
1901. That makes you how many years old now?
86
years
July.
in July. Okay. What county were you born in?
Potter County, Pennsylvania. This Neenan house.
And Dad, you were born in 1906. And what county was that?
Cameron County.
Cameron County.
Canoe Run.
Canoe Run, which isn't even there anymore, is it? And how big was that town when you were born in it?
Oh, I'd say probably 600,000.
Wow. It's not. It doesn't even exist.
I doubt it was a thousand. It was a coal mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coal mine, coke oven.
Yeah. Well, okay.
How about married? When were
When were you married? What?
1928. February.
Before.
Before. And where were you married?
And, I'm not of that place though.
We were talking about that here about a month ago.
Wasn't it Shirling Run or?
Oh, no.
No.
I was up in New York
I was
State.
up in York State.
What were you doing up in New York State?
We went
We'd been
down.
married.
Unchaperoned?
No.
Yeah.
There's a little story behind it.
Oh, there better be.
Your father was working for Uncle Miller on the tools, and they worked 6 days a week. They worked Saturday,
12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. And so he said, well, he wanted to get off, you know, and go get married. And so Miller said, well, now Saturday I'm going over to see Mom and Dad. He said, if you want to get off Saturday, he said, well, take it off. He said, that's all right, we'll shut the tools down, he said, for that day. And so Alfred said, okay. So he and Aunt Cecil got up and went over to see Crookses. And Alfred and I went to get married. And nobody told us that you couldn't get a license. You had to wait 3 days in Pennsylvania. We went down to the courthouse in the morning, and they told us we could have a license, but we had to wait 3 days to get married. Well, everybody was gone, and we wanted to be married that day. You was going to come over and stay at the apartment with them. Of course, they don't do like they do now. Stay anyway. So we went over to
What was the name of that town? Just out of Bradford, across the line. Little bit of town, church. You got a map?
and we went, we got the,
Where's the big map?
gonna have some about stones. No, what's on beyond there? Fort Stone in it.
That's about 2 miles into New York State.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right.
And that's where you were married.
And we could get the license. We went down there, if we got there for it, and we went down on the streetcar,
No, bus.
bus. A streetcar, darn it.
There's no streetcar in Bradford when I worked.
Well, anyway, we went down there and we got off, and, apple juice?
Oh, into the snow.
Yeah, we went to the,
Well,
county clerk or somebody, and he told us where we could get a license or got to give us a license.
And that was in New York.
That was in New York State. And your dad, I didn't know how old your dad was. And so the man asked me, polite and nice, how old I was, and I told him when I was born and everything. So he asked your dad, and then your dad said he was 21. I looked at him, I said, you're only 21? He said, that's right. I said, how come you didn't? I never did. How old was I? I thought he was about 24 or 5. I knew he wasn't quite as old as I was. He said, I'll be 22, big as life. He said, in February,
April.
or April. That was February. In April. He said, I'll be 22 in April. Well, the man said, I don't care if you're 21, that's all right. He said, no fun to me. So he gives us the license. And we took the license in our hand, walked up, we asked him where a preacher was that was marrying us. He said, up the street on this side of the street. He said, is the Methodist minister, he'll be all right. And I said, yeah, I go to Methodist church. And he said, no, we said that was all right. We went up there and just preacher married us, and I can't, we've got the bulletin and all signed there.
Well, where was your
I
first,
don't know where it is.
where was your first home at?
I had an apartment that mom and dad, my mother,
Where at?
had gone down to Florida.
Oh, Bradford.
And so I had taken the furniture that Grandma gave me, and I took it over to Bradford. I had a job in Bradford, beauty park, and I rented a 3-room apartment. And put my
Well, then you
furniture
moved
out.
back to Sterling Run?
We're down there.
Now, you burned, to the house that burned down first, or what?
House that burned down.
Yeah, didn't you have a house that burned down?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
You did?
that was, Grandpa Mark lived there then. We moved down there and the house that's up Sterling Run there. You
Oh.
remember that?
Yeah, up in the hollow there.
Yeah. That was your dad's, or your
How about
dad, there was a mix-up in what they had, old
Their parents'
they did
names.
and so on. Grandpa needed the house up there.
Okay, I got another question. What is your mom and dad's full name?
My mother and dad, Mark, Chandler, Sherwood, and May, Darren.
How old did Grandpa Mark live?
He lived till he was 81.
And Grandma May lived?
So she would be 76 the next 2 months.
And your
75.
grandparents,
Grandpa Darren lived till he was in his 70s. I think about 78. And but Grandma lived till she was 93.
on the Darren side.
And Grandma Sherwood lived till she was 78, and Grandpa died when he was 72. He got in a fight and had a stroke
Got in a fight.
over his dog.
What do you get? You mean a fist fight? Or
Yes, a fist fight.
at 72?
Well, he wasn't quite 72. He had an old hound dog, and he went down to the store to get the mail. And they had a post office in the store, and he went down to the store to get the mail, and the old hound dog was along with him. And there was a young fella. He was pretty good fighter, this old dog. He was a real nice spot hound, expensive dog. And this young fella had a young dog, well, about 2 years old. And so Grandpa went in to get the mail for his dog to go in. And so when he got there, so when he heard a commotion outside there, and there that young fella had sicked his dog on this old dog that was laying there. And of course, old Sport, he got up and he took him on. And the young dog was really chewing him up, but made Grandpa so mad because
He done it.
he did such a thing. See, the old dog never picked a fight, and and they heard him. They heard him talking through the screen door. So he went out there, and he had a cane or something like that. I don't know what it was. And he hit that darn little young dog a wallop on the head. And that young fellow said, "You not don't hit my dog." He said he has the right to fight. He said, well, Grandpa said that old dog is 12, 15 years old. I don't know how old he was. He was an old dog. And he said, it don't make any difference. He said he licks anything that comes along. And so Grandpa took a swat at him, I guess, and told him, pulled back his arm or something anyway. The young fella, he took another whack at the dog. That's what he did. He took another whack at the dog. He said he better quit. He said he's getting hooked.
Okay, Dad. How?
Easy.
Let's see. Your mom and dad. What is your mom's full name?
Her full name was, as far as I can tell you, Florence Francis H.
And how old was she when she? 70? 8, somewhere there, wasn't she?
Well,
How about Grandpa Neenan?
all I ever know is John Neenan.
John Neenan? And how old is he when he passed?
He was,
I think he was around.
Well, what do you know about Grandpa Neenan's parents?
no.
Nothing? They were over in Ireland.